The Secret Life of Time. In the soot-blackened heart of Tarrowden, a city with iron lungs and ticking brass hearts, lived a quiet boy named Elior, who walked with a limp and spoke little, his hands always stained with oil and dust. The city groaned like a tired machine, steam hissed from rusted grates, gears clanked in towers, and factories breathed black smoke into the sky like sighs of exhaustion. Elior had grown up in a narrow clock shop tucked between forgotten alleys, under the guardianship of Master Varen, a stern and solitary old man who raised him more like an apprentice than a son. Orphaned as a baby and left on the shop's doorstep in a wicker basket, Elior learned early to keep his head down and his hands busy. Though he wasn't strong, nor clever in the ways that drew admiration, he had a strange, quiet gift: he could hear time. Not just clocks and watches, but the living rhythm of moments themselves, the delicate humming of the world's unseen balance. Life moved slowly, predictably, until one storm-thrashed night changed everything. The wind howled like a voice torn in two, and lightning cracked the sky open as a cloaked stranger burst through the shop's door, soaked to the bone and bleeding from unseen wounds. In his trembling hands, he clutched a cracked pocket watch that pulsed with an eerie blue light. Before collapsing, he gasped a warning: protect the core of ages, before she finds it. The man died in Elior's arms. In the eerie quiet that followed, Elior noticed the way every clock in the shop had paused for a breath, then resumed ticking, just slightly off-beat. Master Varen was visibly shaken, more afraid than Elior had ever seen him. That night, the old man took the glowing watch and locked himself in the back room. By morning, he was gone, vanished like smoke, leaving behind only the mysterious timepiece and a hurried note: you must finish what I began. Head east. Trust no one. So Elior did what he never thought he could. He left. With trembling hands and a satchel of tools, he stepped beyond the suffocating comfort of Tarrowden and into the wide, unpredictable world, following a path that seemed to unfold for him with every hesitant step. His journey led him into the Whisperwood, a forest where the wind sometimes spoke in the voices of lost loved ones, and trees bent backward in time, shedding leaves before they grew. There, he met a blind seer named Mela who read time not with eyes, but with her fingertips and ears, listening to the past like it echoed through rainfall. Time chose you, she told him. Not for your strength, but because you understand its fragility. With her guidance, Elior pressed deeper into forgotten lands, where he was joined by a disgraced knight named Sir Brannock, once famed and now fallen, who followed Elior not out of duty, but out of a hope that redemption might be found in the boy's quiet courage. Later, in the ruins of a broken observatory, they freed a golem named Thimble, an ancient being of brass and stone with a childlike heart, who took to Elior with immediate trust, following him loyally, not because he was a leader, but because he listened. Together, they unraveled the truth. The cracked pocket watch held a fragment of the time core, a mythical device created to keep the world's flow of time in balance. Long ago, it had been shattered to prevent it from being misused. But now, someone was gathering the pieces: the Queen of Ash, a sorceress who had cheated death by twisting time into knots, draining centuries from others to fuel her life. She planned to reassemble the core and bend history to her will, rewriting the past to erase her defeats and ensure her eternal reign. Elior knew he had to stop her, but doubt clung to him like shadow. He wasn't a hero, just a boy with a limp and a pocket of broken tools. At the edge of the world, in the ruins of the shattered spire where time unraveled like threads of silk, they confronted her. The queen stood tall and terrifying, her eyes filled with centuries of stolen power, her voice as smooth and cruel as polished obsidian. She looked at Elior and laughed. You're what fate sends against me. A crippled boy with gears in his hands. But Elior didn't flinch. His voice shook as he spoke, but his heart did not. When she offered him everything he'd ever lost, his parents, his strength, the chance to live a life untouched by pain, he hesitated, but only for a heartbeat. Then he refused. He saw through the illusion. Instead of placing the final fragment into her throne-like machine, he set it into the pocket watch and pressed it to his chest. Light burst through the cracks of the world as the time core responded to him, not as its master, but as its guardian. The queen screamed as the time she had stolen slipped from her fingers, her centuries unraveling like threads in the wind. And then she was gone, erased not by force, but by balance restored. When Elior awoke, the world had quieted. Time ticked evenly once more. The watch no longer glowed, but a soft rhythmic beat pulsed in his chest, a second heartbeat, faint but eternal. He returned to Tarrowden, older somehow, carrying the weight of what he had done in a quiet way only time could understand. The shop reopened. The clocks were reset. And the city, as always, moved on, unaware that its continued rhythm depended on a boy it never truly saw. No parades were thrown. No songs were sung. But when the wind blew through Gearmaker's alley, some swore they heard a faint ticking beneath it, like a hidden metronome keeping the world in balance. Elior said nothing. He didn't need to. Time remembered, and that was enough. He returned to Tarrowden, and the clocks ticked on, steady, obedient. But in the hush between heartbeats, Elior sometimes felt the world stutter, as if time had forgotten something. Shadows lingered too long. Dreams spoke in voices not his own. And somewhere deep within the gears of the world, something old had started to wake. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.